Hi, my name's Nikki Mckenna. I'm the coach for the ladies football team at Leeds Trinity.
Okay, so how long have you been coaching for?
I've been coaching since I was 14, so that's 10 years. Started off doing under 8s, then did my coaching badges and progressed through to academy, elite football, working in Mexico and now in Great Britain.
What made you want to start coaching football?
I got an injury when I was 14, dislocated my knee, did my tendons, so really it was a forced decision. I'd always been interested in how football works, and kind of managing people. So it was a natural decision once I had to stop playing football competitively to go into coaching.
Okay, you coach men and women. What's the main difference, if any, you see when you coach them?
The women, there's two main differences. First is mental, in terms of men. Generally, all of them want to play football, and they're all there because they've chose to do that. In women's football, there's a lot of girls who go because their mates do, or because they're cajoled into it, because usually there's short numbers. In terms of ability, there's also obviously a bigger difference. Males start younger. It's a natural progression to play football through their fathers or from friends, whereas a lot of the girls start later. And also, in terms of girls' football, the difference from ability in terms of least technically skilled to most is huge, because you've always got the one or two girls who start early, which means that they're miles ahead by the time they get to 18, 19.
Yeah. What do you think of like the media coverage that women's football gets, especially with sort of like the national team and like the Super League and stuff?
It's getting bigger. It's only been the last 2 or 3 years when the Super League's kicked off, the Premiership League for women in Britain. I've worked in America a little bit coaching as well. It's the same over there, even though women's football, especially grassroots, is massive over there. The coverage is just non-existent. I think it's kind of who's reading it. Not many people want to know about it, so they don't display it as much on websites and things like that. There should be more, but my vision is in 10 years' time it would be at a level where you'd see it in the news on a daily basis.
And just another thing, what about sort of the funding for it as well? Because I mean, at the moment, obviously men's gets a lot more funding, but do you think that it's appropriate for the level that women's football's at the moment, or do you think there should be more funding to try and boost?
I'd say so. If you look at the gate attendances of women's football, it's much lower. There's no central TV contract yet, and I think that's has a relation to not many people watch it. In terms of funding, if the governing bodies want to make it a bigger thing, they need to put more money into it. But the problem is that money's not coming from anywhere just yet. So it'd be free money to start off with. In terms of, do I think it's fairly balanced? It probably is, because of the revenue that the men's game brings in. But there's no reason why women's football can't bring in not the similar amount of revenue, but can bring in a revenue.
Yeah, definitely. Also, in the news, you probably heard, obviously, Casey Stoney came out as gay the other day. What are your thoughts on sort of like the sexuality and stuff in women's sport? Because I mean, a lot of girls don't like to get into football because it stereotypes them and people think they're gay. And
there's a stigma, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
I've always coached girls football, so that's youth football, but I've never coached adult, which is what I'm doing now. My own opinion was it's going to be full of gay people, but when you go into it, it's not like that at all. It's obviously there. I remember reading the bit about Casey Stone saying that it's accepted within the game, which it is, because it's quite open at training when we do it. But generally outside, even though it's known, I'm not sure accepted isn't the right word. It's known and it's kind of overshadowed, whereas it's obviously part of the game, so why not embrace it, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Final thing then, what's your favourite thing about coaching and why?
Generally, for males and females?
Well, for both, yeah.
Development, definitely. I'm a development skills coach, and that's what I've specialised in. So in terms of the core basics of dribbling, passing, shooting, tackling, seeing that improvement over just a 1 week training session, a 1 hour session is what I get my satisfaction out of. There's one girl who plays here who hasn't played football. She's 18, came straight into the team, and she's gone from being a non-player to a solid player within the space of 6 months. So that's the main satisfaction why I do, definitely.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Nikki.